Teen mauled by dog pack. California teen suffers devastating injuries after being mauled by a pack of over 10 dogs during morning jog. A 17-year-old California girl is facing a long and painful recovery after being viciously attacked by a large pack of dogs while out for a morning run near her home in Newberry Springs. Now let's get into the thick of it in today's AI podcast episode.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking on a really difficult subject. It's necessary, though. We're looking at the tragic story of a teenager, a young girl attacked by a pack of dogs. It's an event that just completely changed her life. Our aim here, is to really understand the facts, what happened, also the impact, the huge impact on her family. Plus, what this tells us about wider community concerns. We've looked at the reports and the accounts to really pull out the key details. It's about understanding the consequences when animals aren't controlled. So let's get into it. Okay, so the person at the center of this is Tracy Azpeitia. She's 17 from California. And this happened back on July 17th. It was morning just after 8 a.m. She was near her home out in Newberry Springs, Southern California. It's a pretty sparsely populated desert area. She was just jogging, heading towards a workout facility. It was along the 30,000 block of Newberry Road. And then just suddenly she was surrounded, mauled by at least 10 dogs, large dogs. But someone nearby heard her screams, described as desperate screams. And they called 911 immediately. That call was, absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. And that call is what brought help and led to the discovery of just how horrific her injuries were. When the deputies got there, they saw she'd been bitten repeatedly. Legs, arms, the reports use terms like massive injuries, large lacerations, abrasions, severe flesh loss. So this wasn't just a few bites. It was a sustained, really violent attack. The damage was extensive.
It's almost impossible to picture. And her mother, Maria Azpeitia, her account is just heartbreaking. She said when she first saw her daughter, she couldn't recognize her. Her words were, she was so dirty, covered in dirt, I couldn't recognize my daughter. She said, I recognized her bra. That's what I recognized. And I thought they ripped her arms off. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
What does hearing that from a mother add to this?
It just hits you, doesn't it? It makes the trauma intensely personal, intensely human. It shows that immediate shock, the utter chaos families are thrown into. Maria not recognizing Tracy. It speaks volumes about the physical state she was in, but also that emotional devastation. And then, amidst all that horror, Tracy apparently asked her mom, am I still pretty?
Oh, wow.
And Maria told her, yeah, you're beautiful. That exchange, it tells you so much about the psychological wounds, right? Yeah. It's about more than just skin and bone healing. It's about identity.
That's just incredibly powerful and sad. Given that description, can you talk a bit more about the actual medical situation, the physical injuries?
Yeah, it was extremely serious. Her stepfather, Carlos Ramirez, he described it as hundreds of bite wounds all over her body. Apparently only her ankles were spared. Think about that. Hundreds. Medically, the intervention was huge. Surgeons needed over 500 stitches. Over 500 stitches, yeah. To close everything up, the deep cuts, the torn flesh. So we're talking major reconstructive work, trying to repair tissue, fight off infection. It underlines just how severe and life-threatening this attack was.
Okay, so after dealing with Tracy's immediate medical needs, attention must have turned to the dogs. What happened with that?
Right. San Bernardino County Animal Control stepped in pretty quickly. They seized 16 dogs in total from that area.
16? From one place?
That's the number reported, yeah. Authorities believe they belonged to someone living nearby, and the key issue was they were apparently roaming free. No proper fences, no leashes, just loose. That number alone, 16 dogs from one owner running loose.
It immediately brings up questions about responsible ownership, doesn't it? And how animal control manages that in these more spread out areas.
Absolutely. So those 16 dogs, where are they now?
They're being held at the Barstow Humane Society. That's about 17 miles away from where the attack happened.
Okay. And the investigation? It's still ongoing. The Sheriff's Department confirmed they're looking into it, figuring out the full picture, accountability, all of that.
Right. So Tracy's immediate survival was secured. She was rushed to Loma Linda Children's Hospital. She was there for some time before being released. But the recovery, it's a long haul, right? She still can't walk on her own.
No, not independently. And she's facing months, potentially longer, of rehabilitation.
What does that actually mean for a 17-year-old? She should be starting her senior year.
Exactly. Her life has been completely upended. Instead of thinking about classes, prom, graduation, her life is now filled with doctor's appointments, physical therapy, Mental health therapy, too. She's dealing with the emotional fallout from something incredibly traumatic. The family mentioned she has nightmares, can't sleep through the night. That points to, PTSD symptoms, which is very common after something like this.
Yeah, understandable.
And there's a GoFundMe page set up, too, which just underscores the huge financial aspect. These situations create massive medical bills, ongoing costs. It's another layer of stress for the family.
And this whole thing, it's obviously had ripples in the community there in Newberry Springs. People are worried. Residents have been talking about, growing fears around stray dogs not being controlled properly. We saw a quote from a local resident, Christine Watson. She said, "We've been in situations where we're out walking and all of a sudden dogs rush out from a fence or out of nowhere and start circling around us."
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like this wasn't maybe a totally isolated fear even before this terrible attack.
That's a key point. And what's really striking, or perhaps deeply concerning, is the timing. This attack on Tracy happened just 2 weeks before another serious dog mauling incident in San Bernardino County.
Another one, so soon.
Yeah. In that case, a 51-year-old woman was actually killed, attacked by a pack of dogs near a park. So you have two horrific incidents involving packs of dogs happening very close together in the same county. That really amplifies the calls for action, for stricter controls. It makes you ask, is there a pattern here? Is there a systemic issue with how dangerous or stray animals are being managed in that region? Right. It moves it beyond one tragic random event.
Exactly. It raises questions about whether the current approaches, laws, enforcement, are they enough for these kinds of areas and these kinds of risks? Or are there deeper problems with public safety related to animal control? So looking back at this deep dive into Tracy's story, a few things really stand out. First, obviously, is the immense personal cost. It's physical, emotional, it changes a young person's entire future. Second, it throws a harsh light on public safety. Uncontrolled animals, especially packs of large dogs, pose a very real danger, particularly where containment might be inconsistent. And finally, seeing this alongside that other fatal attack, it really points to those bigger questions about owner responsibility, community safety, and whether enough is being done.
It really does. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it, about that balance. The balance between someone's right to own animals, maybe on their own property in a less populated area, and the community's right to feel safe, especially in places like Newberry Springs. Where do those responsibilities lie? How much control is needed? What do owners owe their neighbors? And what level of safety should everyone expect? It's complex, definitely. And as we've seen, the consequences can be absolutely devastating.
This is horrible. Okay, with another fatal dog mauling in the same county just 2 weeks later, does this indicate a systemic failure in animal control? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.